Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great day today. Mine is, I tell you, I'm struggling. I had to wake up at 3 o'clock this morning to get my mom to the airport, and I haven't recovered. I tried to take a nap at lunch. Just a nap isn't going to work. It's just going to take several hours of just deep sleep in order for me to recover. So if I sound a little bit slower, or I mix my words a little bit, that's my dyslexia coming out, because I am extremely tired. And as soon as I'm done with this and getting it uploaded, I am crashing. But, one thing I want to share with you guys real quick is, we strive to be perfect. And we put too much emphasis on being perfect. It's very rare that we're going to nail a perfect trade. And, I know we can look at it in hindsight and say, man, all we had to do was this and that. I get people that send me messages telling me what I should have done. And it was obvious that they weren't watching the trade. They weren't watching the price action. They're just looking at the chart after the fact. That really does you no good. It's all about perfecting the now, perfecting the moment that you're in that trade, that you're looking at it, you're making adjustments, and if you blow the entry, there's a trade or two today that I just got a late entry on, and it was just the way it happened. The trade took off, and I got in a little bit later. I lost a little bit of profit, but, I had to make adjustments. And it's all about perfecting the situation, the circumstances that you're in now. And to do that, we use our journaling and reflection. We talked about that in the small account program presentation today. How important it is to, journal your trades, reflect on your trades, so that you can make those adjustments. You can look at what you did today. Only you know what was going on in your mind, what you were feeling, what you were seeing. And writing that down and documenting it is going to be key in our growth. And that form I shared with you guys, that is what I use to help me cover everything about that trade that's pertinent to me making adjustments. So, so it's all, for me, it's all about perfecting the now, perfecting what I'm in now. Don't worry about being wrong. Don't worry about making mistakes, because we can adjust those. We can correct those. That's where the journaling comes in. One of the big reasons why I stream my platform live is because I want you guys to know it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to mess up. But we do that, and that's not going to stop us from achieving our goals. That's not going to stop us from making money. It may slow us down. It may make us stop and think, make us make adjustments. But that's what this whole process is all about. We're continually growing and, tightening our game up step by step by step. And so again, no matter what other people tell you, anybody can look at a chart after the fact and tell you what you should have done, but only you know what was happening in your mind during that trade. What were you thinking? What were you feeling? Why did you make the decisions that you made? Only you can answer that. Journal it, lock it up, use that to help you tweak your trading. You're going to get better. You're going to start making more money. Because I'm going to tell you, in the beginning, it's really not about growing your position size at first. It's about maximizing the opportunity that you have in that trade. Like, I may take a trade with 100 shares, and it may not be clean. And I may not be making clean trades, but once I clean it up, then I can make twice as much money as I was making with the same 100 shares. So it's all about making those adjustments, tweaking what you're doing, perfecting the situation and the circumstances you're in now. And that's going to pay dividends, in the long run. So I hope you guys enjoyed the webinar today. And you understand now why it's important. And why it's important that even if you make a mistake, you need to analyze it, own it, and make adjustments so that you don't do it again. Just keep driving forward. All right, now MGM, it wasn't the only stock I had on watch. And for the life of me, I can't remember all the stocks I had on watch. But I know it was MGM. I know it was TAL. Those were two I know of. But I remember. Oh, I remember now. It was MGM, TAL, LUV, and AAL. So I had two of the airlines on. Now, the airlines from the onset, I just really had in my mind that that's probably going to be a good all-day hold trade. It's not going to be the best day trading opportunity. And I used to trade the airlines every day a couple years ago. And all of a sudden, they just became very difficult to trade. And I kind of left them alone. So I didn't really focus on them as day trades. I kind of focused on those as all-day holds. We'll talk about those trades in a minute. But MGM was the one that I liked. TAL was a little bit spready and, really whippy. And I really wasn't comfortable in it out of the gate. But this one, really it had nice windows of opportunity. They were a little tight, but I felt we could get through those and, make a run down through 32, down to around 31.50 or so. So, we started selling off coming into the open, which was good. We were under the 100-day. This is the 200-day from the daily chart. And I felt if I could get under the VWAP, the 9, get under this 200, I could use this as my backstop. I felt good about just getting in this on the break of the 5-minute opening range low versus waiting for it to close and all that stuff. And this is why I kind of missed the move yesterday. I was waiting for the candle to close and the candle washed out. And I couldn't handle that. So I was patient on this. We put in the first 5 minutes and this candle just dipped below it, but held. And this candle did the same thing. So, I waited the first 15 minutes. And then once this candle opened, I started to see some weakness creep in. I'm watching time and sales. You guys hear everything that I say. What I'm looking at, what I'm thinking when I see it. So I'm really trusting that you guys are picking up on that, because that's what helps me make my trade decisions. So I was able to get a decent entry in this. And, we sold off. I know we were right on top of this level here. It did have a little bit of trouble here, but we started to sell off. And it didn't seem like we were going to get anywhere. And I was just being anal in there because I was tired. I didn't have the patience that I normally have. My mental energy was just drained. And this is why I always recommend, if your morning has been like that, just don't trade. because it makes it difficult to make good decisions. So, I didn't make that good of a decision covering here at 32.70. My first target was going to be 32.50, which was right on this level here. And we actually hit that. But, I just felt something here. And it was something here. It was a little supply zone that hit because we tried to push up, but it just wasn't enough, buyers here. And so we sold back off, got back down to that level. The other problem I had was I was supposed to take 150 shares off, and I accidentally took 250. So I only have 50 shares left. So this hurt my profit potential. This really put a dent in my potential profit. Now, this was a good trade. I just made some errors in execution, but not so bad that I would lose money. And, this is just a good reason why if you're not 100% mentally sharp in there, you're going to make, decisions that, probably aren't right. And I kind of knew it at the time, but reflecting on this after the fact, I was able to clearly understand what was going on here. So we didn't quite get to this 32.15 or 14 level here. I held through this candle here, but as soon as this candle opened and started pushing up, I went ahead and took it off. And seemed to be the right thing to do. Even though we did come down over here and test it, it wasn't really a good opportunity to cover. It wasn't that kind of candle. And so, we just eventually pushed right on up the VWAP. Well, I went to lunch at 11. I typically go to lunch around 11. That's when things slow down. And I actually come back going into lunch, because I usually see moves like this going into lunch. So I go an hour early, come in and try to get it. But I missed this. When I got back, this move was already over. We were actually pushing up on the other side. So I kept this on watch, kept it on watch. I was not going to short it up here. Wasn't going to short it above the moving averages or anything. I didn't have a problem shorting it close to this 32.15 because we took it out. We took this support out. And it hasn't really given us much of anything since. So I was cool with this. I got in. It looked like we were going to make the move, and then the momentum shut off. It's like somebody turned the faucet off, and we were done. So I started to see some volume coming in here, and I was like, yeah, time to get out. And so, didn't really get that big of a move here. But, I was sharp. When I came back from lunch, excuse me, still dealing with my sinus infection here. I was sharp, a little bit more mentally sharp. So I was able to recognize this happening and, took it off. So that was MGM. And then I did try TAL after I thought we had settled down a little bit. I was waiting for this to get below the VWAP. Well, this candle washed out. It washed out, and I was fumbling around and was late getting this. This is all part of the morning, the sluggish morning that I had. I was slow. Wasn't really feeling quite myself. So I was a little bit slow getting in here. And even slower taking profit. Here at the... It came down and hit the 200 from the daily. And I just missed it. I was just late covering. So not a very good trade. Like $44 is all we got on this. But you can see it just wasn't ready to play ball, and we ran all the way back up. This played around and took a lot of people's money for a while, and I just left it alone. I wasn't even looking at getting back in this. This was just bad price action. It was too choppy. I was giving it a chance because it looked like we were smoothing out on this rejection. But you have to be on top of this. I wasn't quite 100% on my execution, but I was on top of what was going on and was able to exit. So not a bad day. 128.32. That's another. What's the day? Thursday? Yeah, the third $100 day this week. We had a $100 loss day yesterday. So we're doing pretty good. Doing exactly what we want to do. The right mindset. Yesterday, I went over that in the video yesterday if you want to see, what the deal was on that. But I was okay with that. I was okay with that loss, even though I let it go, about $20, $30 too much. I was okay with the whole deal. So that was my day on a small account. Another day like today, I will be back green, good and green. I might be break even or a little bit over. I won't know until in the morning. And then on top of that, somehow my profit calendar disappeared. So I'm going to have to go back and copy from the pictures I had on the internet. So that's going to take me a long time, but I ain't doing that till tomorrow or this weekend. But so I don't know the totals right now. I don't know where I'm at. So I could be a little bit short. I could be right on it, or I could be a little bit over. But just looking for another daylight I've had this whole week. Remember, it's about locking in that profit, taking these small moves. I was working with a guy, and I just got to tell you this real quick because it's pertinent. I was working with a new trader. He had been in a couple other rooms, and I was trying to get him to understand my philosophy of just trading small, developing the skill, taking these small wins, building your confidence by consistently being green. And, he was frustrated because he's like, man, I'm used to making, $700-800 here and then $1,000-2,000 on a trade here. But I asked him, okay, at the end of the week, are you red or green? He's red. Hadn't had a green week at all. Ever. And the first week, he did what I was teaching him and trying to get him to do. He was green by $368. And I'm like, this is your first green week ever. And you're bitching about not making $800 or $2,000 trade here and there. Makes absolutely no sense. At least now you can do it. You know that you can do it. So develop the skill so that you can do it consistently. And that's what we're trying to do. That's the whole purpose of starting small, and why I think starting small is the best thing in the world to do. Some people don't agree with me. That's fine. Everybody's got an opinion. And everybody believes in what they do. That's the beautiful thing about this country. You can have your own beliefs. I'm not going to say you're wrong. But me, that's what I believe. And, that's what I'm trying to prove to you guys every day. So let's take a look at AAL. Okay, this was going to be my all-day hold. We had the big sell-off from earnings. We had to bounce back. And, I had to wait until it kind of settled because this thing was looking kind of crazy. So I got in, got the initial move. It hit my first target here around 41.50, and my second target was at 40. It didn't hit that, and then we came back up and got stopped out. So I waited, let it set up again. So I got back in and was looking for the all-day hold. And when I got back from lunch, I was looking at it for a minute. I didn't like what I saw, and I went ahead and took it off. It just didn't make any sense. It wasn't working out, and I feel I made the right move on it. So only got 514.44 out of this, but green. As long as we're green on these, they are working. I don't know what the average per day has been this month. I'll be looking at that this weekend. So it's going to be pretty interesting. And this is one of these. This isn't a perfect trade. Now, we've had one or two perfect ones where we really made a killing on it. And then we've had these that just aren't as perfect. But we made adjustments and we got what we could out of this. And that's exactly what we did on this AAL. So, okay, this is from yesterday in my swing account. I didn't do any recaps on the swing yesterday. This was a complete accident. I had no idea I was even in this trade. I think what I did was I brought the chart up to look at it because somebody asked me to look at it, and I just typed it in. And somehow, I guess with this crazy mouse I've got here that's got buttons all over the place, I must have accidentally hit it, and it got me in. And I didn't even know. You can see, I didn't even know until I got back from lunch to really check these trades. And when I got in, I was like, what the? So I just took it off. There was no reason to take it off, but I just took it off because, I had no plan on this. This didn't even look like a stock that made sense for me to trade. So, but it is part of my P&L, so I had to, show I didn't want to hide anything. Also took a position in NXPI. This was from our Sunday watch. And I covered some of BMY, which is the stock we got in on the 23rd. I covered some of that because we had earnings this morning. This was aftermarket. So I took it off like well after 5 o'clock because I was waiting to see if we were going to get any gap up yesterday. But we didn't, so I took some off. Ended up being, 370. So it wasn't bad, but I was looking for this, here it is. I was looking for it to make the curl and run back up before earnings. So I left 200 shares on today for this morning. It didn't even gap up. I mean, normally when the stock announces earnings, it'll gap up. You get 3 or 4 point gap. I got nothing. It like bumped up maybe a point, and then the next candle sold all the way back off. So it wasn't what I was looking for. So I just took it off. See, it was 7 o'clock this morning. I just took it off because it just wasn't working. And you can see, I don't know what we closed at today, but it just wasn't. It wasn't there. Now I could still get back in this if if it triggers an entry tomorrow. I'm still looking for it to make the curl. This is still an active setup. But I had to take it off because it just wasn't doing what I was looking for it to do. So NXPI, big disappointment today. I took let's see. I took 200 shares off at 104.50. You know, I sold 200. It hit my target up here. And I think this chart, I must have took this picture before the day. Yeah, I took it before the day closed. I made this slide early because I 100% anticipated this to continue to go on. But I right before close, 15.50, this thing pulled all the way back and stopped me out. And I'm like, you know, I mean, it was just disappointment all the way around with swing trades today. Yeah, we made money, but I'm looking to make a lot more than this on swing trades. So tomorrow, this is still setting up for the pattern. Same setup as BMY. It is Friday, so, you know, I don't know how I'm going to feel about it tomorrow, but we'll see. You know, I don't, this is one of those trades where you just don't know until tomorrow. So I'll be looking at this BMY and NXPI. I'll be looking at both of those on tomorrow. Now, one thing I want to share with you real quick before we get out is on the website. I am changing up my swing trade deal. I'm going to have where I'm able to alert or let you know when I'm in a trade. And I'm going to keep the updates on the website. So right now, I just put this up last night, so it's not really complete. All I did was upload my swing trades to TraderView. I don't have, and I'm going to do that until I can get my spreadsheet set up. Plus, this really gives you all the information. And what I'm going to start doing is putting my stop and my targets and everything here so you'll be able to see it. But, you know, this is the first day I got this stuff up. And obviously this trade is done and this trade is done. So tomorrow, you know, I'll post the closed trades and you'll see, you know, what the P&L was, my entry, exit, and all that stuff. But I'll be doing that. And also, this weekend I'm going to set up my email server. And, you know, then I'll put out to everybody, hey, if you want to get, you know, email alerts for, you know, when I enter trades and all that stuff, you can get it. It's not going to be real time because, you know, I do not like alert services. I don't think you really get anything out of alert services. This is just letting you know when I'm getting in the trades that are on my watch list. You know, I'll have my watch list posted here as well, so you'll be able to keep up with what I'm doing. I do have several people now that can't get in chat early, so they don't see the swing trade set up in the morning at 9 o'clock. And this is going to give you an opportunity to come in and check out, you know, what I have. So look out for that. You know, I'm going to be getting that up and running this weekend. You know, that's my goal to get that going. So everybody have a great night, a great evening. I can't go to sleep yet. My wife and my daughter and my sister went to see Rent. Went to the show, so I'm Uber tonight. You know, I dropped them off and now I got to go pick them up. I'm trying to print me an Uber sign now. Let's see if they're going to go for it. But that's going to do it for me tonight. And you guys take it easy. Have a great night, a great evening. And I will see you guys in the morning.